Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trauma-Informed Conflict Strategy Resolution, Trauma-Informed Resolution Strategy. My name is Julie Johnson, and this is our free webinar that we do at least once a month on our platform that helps more people that work in design, in business, and wellness learn how we can use the skills that we teach on our platform and learn how to use them in the areas where we need them most, which is conflict resolution. Okay. So the skills that we teach on our platform are the deconstructed versions of what we need these for, right? So we teach trauma-informed decision making, we teach trauma-informed communication in our course called Trauma-Informed Leadership. But in this lead generation, we kind of talk about what it looks like when we put all those things together. And the idea here is that you can listen to this and then move into our courses and our cohorts and our deeper learning experiences to help deconstruct these skills that we need in order to really live into our idea of inclusion and, wellness vitality, all right? Social vitality. So I'm going to talk about what the skills that we teach on our course look like today in this ebook that I did send out to you. Okay, so the ebook, if you don't have it and you're watching this, I sent it in the Eventbrite email that came with this course or with this slide deck. Okay, so go find it. If you can't find it, you can email me and I will happily send it to you. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to be talking about in the next 30 minutes. Okay. So in the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about how trauma-informed practices can help us transform conflicts that are not abusive. So I want to talk about that for a second and really hopefully this lands with you. In order for us to do the things we're about to do, they cannot be in systems of high control. Okay. Domestic violence, maybe a religious high control group. Okay. Or maybe a wellness high control group. Okay. When you have that sort of system imbalance there, this is not power with, which is what we're talking about here. That's power over. So I want to hear this. You cannot talk or conflict your way out of an abusive situation. Okay, you cannot conflict resolve your way out of a situation that is abusive. You can't. Okay, the conditions that are right to make this possible that we're talking about here, there has to be two people that value and respect each other, that are attuned and are willing to move through a conflict resolution we call strategy. Okay, because this is strategy. This is where empathy meets strategy. All right. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on all of this. All right. So in saying that, I'm going to move forward on our webinar. So make sure that you have the link to the ebook. Okay. And we'll go from there. Okay. So so I'm going to go pull my ebook out myself. Where did I put that? Go to Drive. I have it on my phone. So I'm looking on my phone and talking to you all here. Okay. So this is conflict. Okay. So make sure you have it. I'm referencing it on my phone while I'm talking to you all through the slides, okay? But I'm going to be going through the ebook after I get through the agenda slide. Okay, so make sure that you're pulled up and we're going to start talking about key findings on page 4 of the ebook called Trauma Informed Resolution Framework. Okay, so I want us to think of it like a strategy. We're not problem solving here. We're actually relationally trying to come together, okay, through differences, okay, or through different perceptions. All right, so we're not really like trying to solve a problem, okay? We're trying to make a pathway so people can work together that meets their needs. All right, this is emotional intelligence at work. It's emotional intelligence with strategy, okay? So here's what we're going to be talking about. Here's our objectives and our agenda, okay? Right, and we're going to talk about why this is important. We're going to go through the trauma-informed conflict strategy and the next steps for you to deepen your skills in this work, okay? And then ways you can engage with integrate trauma-informed network, okay? So again, I'm Julie Johnson. I am the co-founder of Integrate Trauma Informed Network. I've been doing this work for almost over a decade. I've done coaching, instructional coaching from this lens, business coaching. I'm a trainer. Okay. I work in accessibility and inclusion. I'm a yoga teacher. So I've worked in a lot of different spaces under this umbrella of trauma-informed care, right? And really the issues that I see come up the most is we don't know how to conflict together. When we're all on the same page with these skills, very few of us have the skills in order to make conflict work in a way that is good for our attachment systems, okay? Because we're just not used to this, right? We're not used to this level of coming together, right? In ways where we're honoring each other's common humanity, right? We're still new to this process. We want it, we just aren't used to it. So this is going to be a little bit of work. It's a practice, okay? So, we're going to move forward and talk about the key findings of a trauma-informed approach. Okay, so I'm on page 2. Sorry, I'm on page 2 of the ebook. Okay, so on page 2 we talk about a trauma-informed approach. So a trauma-informed approach means we're looking at people and situations from a lens of what's happened to moving away from what's wrong with us to what's happened to us in our lives, to it's that holistic shift, right? And that means that we have to have a container of safety. Now, safety is a container. Safety is not something that we can promise, right? Because that's a perception. It's based off someone's perception and lived experience, but we can create conditions where safety is possible in our conflict resolution strategies, okay? So, a strategy is a plan. Conflict is when something happens and there are mixed feelings and mixed perceptions, and we need to find a path forward, right? That's where we need strategy, right? I always say that's where empathy meets strategy. So we need to be able to use active listening and empowerment, right? So those are the three really big key things. We have safety, active listening, and empowerment. Okay, empowerment means we need to encourage people to make the decisions that are right for them with shared power. Okay, so we need to be collaborative and we need to have ownership over the resolution process. Okay, all right. So preparation. So when we're talking, so now I'm on page 5 of the ebook. Okay, this is step 1 of the resolution process, okay, is we got to prepare for a conflict discussion, okay? Trauma impacts us and it helps us recognize trauma and how it can shape responses, okay? So we need to prepare for emotion because, lots of times where there's conflict, there's emotion. It's going to bring up things that are very real, right? It's going to bring up things that are hard and things that are hard to sit with, discomfort, right? So we need to prepare a space that where that can be held. Like, so sometimes that can be a neutral space. Neutral would be a place where there wasn't a lot, maybe not the place where something happened, you know. Um, so just thinking about where things can be emotionally neutral, right? What would that mean? Okay, this is of course in context to everyone's different lived experiences and spaces. And then then the next step 2, this is like part step 1A, but calling it a step 2. We need to establish groundwork. What's going to make the container safe enough? Okay, we call safe enough meaning like we're not gaslighting, we're listening, we're using all of these higher level order thinking empathic skills in order to work with one another, right? So what do we need with that, right? And from our perspective, clear boundaries and emotional regulation build trust and openness, right? Emotional regulation means like I'm working through my stuff. I might need to take a step out, but I'm not going to be reactive. I'm not going to like yell across the room at you. You know what I mean? Like that's not my goal, you know? So, I'm going to use all of my higher order thinking as much as possible. That's, to help me be a good participant in this process. Okay. Because I want to get to a goal that works well for myself and everyone else as much as possible. That's the end goal, right? Okay. Active and effective listening. Okay. So active and effective listening are a little bit different. In active listening, we're looking for letting individuals speak freely using affirmations, like I understand, or maybe I'm not understanding that, can you asking clarifying questions. Effective listening is listening for where people might be coming from. What's their mojo? It's kind of like empathic listening. Oh, what might they be, where might they be thinking? Okay, in that, what's their mojo in saying that? So it's a lot of empathic, trying to understand their perception as much as you can. You can't perceive, you cannot step in someone's shoes literally. So we use effective listening skills like summarizing to help us come into that space of our common humanity, recognizing and acting on our common humanity. All right, now moving into the decision-making tips. You might stop here. This could be where some people's conflict resolutions process stops entirely, okay? So here we're working on decision-making, right? We involve everyone in finding solutions. We encourage suggestions and again, practicing empowerment, okay? Coming up with an agreement. Now, some people might need to make a decision to step out or quit or step away from a relationship altogether, and that might stop the conflict resolution process right here altogether, okay? Likewise, we might be moving on to resolve and repair. Maybe there's something here where we can work through that, right? And we can move through and coming up with a space of resolution, okay? Summarizing actions and alignment. Where are we finding alignment? Where are the places where we can come together and find clarity, okay? All right. And then revisit where our progress is and how we can move forward, if at all. Okay. And remembering we can always move back into that decision making. This isn't like a linear process. It might be we go back to 5 and like back to 4. I need to go back and look at the decision I made. I'm not feeling good about it now. Maybe 3, 6, 9 months down the road. Okay. And then the final step is reflect and learn, right? Debrief the process, practice self-care. You might need to go do some deeper therapy. You might have to do some work of your own. I can't tell you how many times something in work has brought up some of my stuff, right? So you might have to go do your own work, right? Outside of that. That might be where this comes from. Okay. And then, it might be that, you might maybe doing more expansive spiritual work might be a part of it, or doing more mindfulness, being more aware of what's happening inside of you. There might be some growth points for you in how you can grow your expansion and your awareness around your own internal process. So you can go through the rest of the ebook and go through the real world cases. I'm going to go through ways to engage with integrate more over on the slide deck. So you can take everything that I just said, okay, and you can engage with us, okay, in these different ways. So you can, we're releasing an app this week called Let's Integrate. So it's a booking, you can book any of our yoga classes or leadership, these little micro trainings we're doing on leadership development. We're going to be doing at least one a week, I believe. We're going to be doing this conflict resolution one for quite a while, for like at least Q1. And then we'll see what there's going to be other skills that we bring in each quarter. Okay. But we're going to be really working through conflict resolution, at least in Q1. All right. And then we have a live cohort training on trauma-informed conflict resolution coming up in April. So you can be part of these live trainings where you can really break apart some of these skills that we've been talking about in conflict resolution and really learn, like, what does a trauma-informed decision even look like? What does self-regulation look like in me? And then how do I communicate with empathy? How do I create a strategy that is for myself, that is empathic and strategic in taking care of myself and also leading teams and myself through complex, chaotic spaces? And then you can do this work communally with us, right? We're headed to Detroit for Trauma Informed Leadership Coffee Meetup. Okay. We are also going to Richmond, Virginia. We have a monthly trauma informed virtual coffee that we're doing January 11th. Okay. So you can download the app and you can, or go to our website and you can sign up for our next trauma informed leadership coffee on January 11th. Okay. Again, our app is going to be called Let's Integrate. You will hear about it from me over and over again on LinkedIn. So this will not be the first or the last time you hear about it. It might be the first time, but it won't be the last time. Um, and then we have a trauma-informed leadership symposium coming up in March, where we're going to talk about how these skills look as we move through going with each other, right? Going forward with each other. Okay. So, and that's going to be our affinity group is going to come together, and we're going to do this conference to help us sort of learn how we bring these skills together and how do we work together with these skills. All right. So, that is us. You can find us at let'sintegrate.live. You can see our trauma-informed yoga groups that Shadika and I lead together, which is a part of self-leadership, right? Trauma-informed yoga is a part of self-leadership. And then our leadership, our more communal-based offerings, right? You can go deeper by becoming trauma-informed, becoming a verified trauma-informed leader by going through our course and our vetting process. So there's lots of ways that you can get involved here that is depending on what you can offer, right? You can just come to our coffees, you can come to our yoga classes, you can go deeper and go to our training, our course, and become one of our affinity group members and help help create content all around these skills, right? We're constantly practicing together. All right, everyone. Thank you. We'll be back next month. If you want to do it again, you can, like I said, you can come to a coffee. You can sign up for our symposium. Okay, it's all on our at let'sintegrate.live and soon to be our Let's Integrate app. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.